Blessings and welcome to the path to freedom, this wonderful journey that we are on, where we get to set ourselves free to be in ever expanding peace, be in ever expanding love, be in ever expanding joy, be in ever expanding harmony, be in ever expanding wholeness, where we get to allow for beautiful and forever expanding iterations and versions of who and what we are, where we get to set ourselves free to go beyond anything that we've ever imagined possible for ourselves and our own lives, and where we get to leave the small and the limited behind, where we get to leave that which no longer serves, the judgments, the opinions, the point of views, the thoughts as to what should and should not be, the labels, the name calling, the sense of lack and scarcity, the sense of separation. This is a beautiful path, and I'm so grateful to be on it. I'm so grateful that I get to walk this path and that we get to walk it together. So whoever you are and whenever you are, wherever you are, thank you so much for joining me on this path. My name is Daniel Roquillo, and today we are exploring forgiveness. Being one very integral and very powerful part of walking this path of freedom, of setting ourselves free. Forgiveness is oftentimes confused or misunderstood as meaning that we condone someone else's behavior, that we accept it, that we deny our own experiences, that we just pretend that everything is well and good, and so that we can remain friends, or so that we can get back together, or whatever the case may be. But that is not at all what forgiveness is all about. Forgiveness is about releasing, letting go of the negativity that we are holding on to, the judgment that we are holding on to, the opinions that we are holding on to, the thoughts as to what should and should not be that we are holding on to, so that we may be free to be in joy, harmony, wholeness, beauty, regardless of what is happening around us, regardless of what another individual is doing or external conditions and circumstances. So forgiveness is an act of self-love in that sense. We're giving ourselves permission to stay in a high vibration. We're giving ourselves permission to be in an expanded consciousness, regardless of anything outside of ourselves. We're taking our power back, really. We're reclaiming our lives. We're reclaiming our sanity. We're reclaiming our wholeness. We're reclaiming our minds. So this forgiveness work that we are invited to do, that we're called to do on a regular basis, and that is something that we will explore later. I was gonna say, let's do it now before I forget it. So we're invited to do this, and we're wise to do this on a regular basis. I have an evening practice that I'm sort of on and off drifting in and out of, but it is a 4-stage practice or routine, where the first step or first stage is just giving thanks and gratitude, moving into gratitude for whatever, for the day that has been, for me being who I am, where I am, for the health that I enjoy, for the abundance that just gratitude. The second stage of that process is forgiveness. So this is where we invite anyone or anything that we're holding on to negativity towards into our consciousness, with the intention to release and let go of our negativity, of our judgments, of our opinions, not to change them, not to make them be something that they're not, but we're setting ourselves free and we're setting them free. The third stage is for us to bless this individual. So whatever they did, whatever they did not do, or condition or circumstance, whatever is, whatever isn't, we bless it. We wish it well. And then the fourth stage is where we make ourselves open and available for guidance during the night. So as we drift off to sleep, we do so with the intention for the angel realm, for our ancestors to guide and lead and move us, to let us know whatever it is that we need to know waking up the next morning. This was a sidetrack, but if you want to go deeper into or explore this routine further or deeper, there is a track, I believe it's called A Powerful Evening Routine, to end the day in a high vibration or something like that. So you're invited to check that out. Coming back to forgiveness, and especially, particularly, the forgiveness prayer that this session is about. So forgiveness is about us releasing, letting go of negativity. I'm reminded always when I speak about forgiveness, I'm reminded of that Native American saying that goes, holding on to resentment, holding on to negativity, holding on to hatred, it is like swallowing poison, wishing, hoping that someone else will die. So we are swallowing the poison, but we're hoping that it will affect the other, but it really will not all that much to that, to any degree, really. But the negativity that we're holding on to, it affects us. When we are stewing in anger, when we are stewing in resentment, when we are stewing in jealousy or animosity, that affects us, right? It absolutely weakens the immune system. It absolutely speeds up the aging process. It absolutely robs us of being in peace, of being in joy, of being in harmony. So we're so wise to lean into forgiveness on a regular basis. And I want to offer a beautiful and very powerful forgiveness prayer today. We could talk a whole lot about forgiveness, but today let's explore a beautiful tool, a beautiful prayer. I believe originally it was, I heard it, let me put it that way. I heard it originally from Reverend Michael Bernard Beckwith. I have since sort of adapted it so in a way that resonates more with my heart and my soul. So I'm going to read it, and then we're going to explore what it means, and then we're going to read it again. Before we read it, let's have a moment of coming back to the nowness of this moment. A moment of actively, consciously choosing to breathe, to stop, to reset, to reclaim our minds. So let's take a deep and conscious breath, breathing in. And releasing. Another deep breath in. And releasing. And so this, what we just did, grounding ourselves, anchoring ourselves, centering ourselves in the nowness of this moment, coming back to the breath to begin again. That is a practice that when we move into forgiveness, we want to begin with this practice, because this allows us to free ourselves from being attached or identified with whatever judgments and opinions that we're holding on to, where another individual is concerned, where a particular condition or circumstance is concerned. So this is the beginning. This is the beginning stage of us setting ourselves free. From this space, we want to move into this forgiveness prayer. And so I'm going to read it out loud once, and then we're going to explore what it means. So this is the prayer. I forgive you. And here we can add the name of the individual in question, or if there is a particular condition or circumstance. But I forgive you. I release my stories around what should and should not be. My forgiveness of you is total and complete, and I now see you as God sees you. I see you as a unique, perfect, whole, complete being of light and love. I am free, and you are free. All is well between us. All is well between our souls. So this beautiful prayer, what it does is that it sets us free. As that one sentence, I am free and you are free, it sets us free to be in joy, to be in harmony, to be in abundance, set us free from the notion that someone owes us something. Because when we are in resistance, animosity, negativity, resistance was not the word I was looking for. When we are in, oh my goodness. Never mind. When we're holding on to thoughts as to what should and should not be, judgments and opinions, what we're really saying is that someone out there owes us something. We need them to do something. We need them to be something for us to be in joy, for us to be in harmony, for us to be in wholeness, for us to be in love. That's for us to be in peace. That's what we're saying. That's what we're saying. They owe us something, and unless they be what we want them to be, we cannot be in that joy, harmony, wholeness, peace, love. So we're setting ourselves free to be what we already are, what we've always been, what we will always be, to be the peace that is inherent within us, to be the joy that is inherent within us, to be the harmony and wholeness that are inherent within us, to be the love that is inherent within us. We're setting ourselves free to be that which we already are. And we're setting the other individual or condition or circumstance free to be what it is. So this is deep work in trusting that all is well, even when our eyes cannot see it. So I forgive you. I release my judgments and opinions about what it is that you did or they did, or about this condition and circumstance. And the second statement is, or the second sentence is, I release my stories around what should and should not be. So we recognize that it is not what they are doing, or it is not what is happening outside of ourselves that is giving rise to the negativity that we are experiencing. It is the stories that we buy into. It is the beliefs that we buy into, the judgments that we buy into, the opinions, the labels that we buy into. It is these that are giving rise to the negativity, the resentment. That was the word I was looking for, to the resentment that we are experiencing. Everything is nothing until we make it something. So another individual doing something or not doing something that we think that they should have done or should be doing, that is nothing until we add a judgment to that, until we label that as either good or bad, right? So we release our stories. We release that within us that is giving rise to the negativity that we are experiencing. And we do this unconditionally, totally, completely. So we're not saying, as the third sentence, my forgiveness of you is total and complete. So this is unconditional. We're not saying that you need to do this or you need to be that for me to forgive, for me to release the negativity that I'm holding on to. No, that's putting the horse behind the cart, or the cart before the horse. So we begin with us. We forgive unconditionally, totally, completely, without them having to do anything, without them changing one bit. And then the second part of this sentence is, and I now see you as God sees you. So we seek to see them through the eyes of unconditional love, through the eyes of trusting that right where they are, right who they are, is just perfect for them. That they are doing the very best they know how to do, and it is not their fault. They're not to blame for not being able to live up to our expectations, to the expectations that we have set for them, right? I see you as a unique, perfect, whole, complete being of love and light. So we see them as God sees them. We see them as the sun sees them. We see them as the rain sees them. We see them as the bumblebee sees them. We see them as the rose sees them. No judgments, no opinions, no labels, just a pure being of love and light. Perfect, whole, complete, being right where they need to be, according to their particular path, according to their particular pattern. And then we go on saying that I am free and you are free. So we're setting ourselves free and we're setting them free to be whoever, wherever they are. Then we go on affirming, declaring, decreeing that all is well between us and that all is well between our souls. So we complete the forgiveness prayer by stating, by affirming that all is well. I am well, you are well. I am free, you are free. So this is the forgiveness prayer. And anytime, this is actually part 1. So the top, I don't even think I named the topic for this session, but the topic is, if we want to be free, we must forgive. And this is part 1. There's going to be a part 2 as well, where we will explore another tool just like this one. But what I was gonna say, let's take a deep breath first before I say what I was gonna say. Breathing in consciously, a deep breath in. And releasing. Breathing in. And releasing. So whenever we become aware of holding on to any kind of judgments or opinions, any kind of stories as to what should and should not be, a sense of being a victim of the doings of another individual, the conditions and circumstances, we're invited to move into this prayer, to lean into this prayer. And so, working with it, we want to move through it. We absolutely need to lean into it with the intention. We really need to mean for ourselves to set ourselves free. We really need to have the intention for ourselves to forgive, to release the negativity that we are holding on to, that we are experiencing. Otherwise, this is just us putting on a play. And we might as well do something different with our lives and our time. So we need to have the intention to really forgive, to really release and let go of the small, the limited, the judgments, the opinions. When we do, we want to put ourselves into a space, we want to move ourselves into a space where we know that we will not be disturbed for a few short minutes, where we feel safe and secure, and we want to read this out loud. So I'm going to put in the description of this particular session, I'm going to put this prayer so that you can copy it, so that you can put it on your phone or write it on a note or a piece of paper. And we want to read it out loud so that we incorporate, so that we include our entire being, because words have power. Words are vibrating with a frequency, and that frequency imprinted on the cells affect the cells. So thinking it, yes, that is absolutely better than not thinking it, but saying it out loud is even more powerful. So we want to say it out loud. And perhaps we want to stand ourselves in front of the bathroom mirror or something. If we want to add even more power, looking into our own eyes. But regardless, we want to say it out loud. So let's do and we want to repeat it until we begin to feel the forgiveness happening. So if we read it through once and we don't really feel the release happening, we read it through again and again and again and again until we do have a smile on our faces, until we feel peace, until we feel the love. Then, and only then, are we free to move back into the world. And when we become aware of being hijacked and held hostage again by these opinions and judgments, we are obviously invited to move back into the prayer, letting it do its thing on us again and again and again, until these judgments and opinions, these stories begin to really dissolve from our consciousness, to really be released, permanently released from our consciousness. So let us read through this prayer again. I invite you to bring into mind an individual, a condition that you are holding on to a resentment towards, that you're holding on to negativity towards, that you are willing to forgive. And I'm going to read one sentence at a time, and you're free to repeat after me. So if you have the name or the particular condition, let us begin. So I forgive you, and you can add the name or the condition. I release my stories around what should and should not be. My forgiveness of you is total and complete, and I now see you as God sees you. I see you as a unique, perfect, whole, and complete being of love and light. I am free, and you are free. All is well between us, and all is well between our souls. So this is the prayer. It is such a powerful tool to assist us in releasing and letting go of the negativity that we are holding on to set ourselves free, to be in that ever-expanding peace, love, joy, harmony, wholeness, beauty, abundance, creativity. That is our birthright, that we have a mandate to be. That is the reason why we're here on this planet in the first place. So the invitation is that we lean into this prayer, that we actually make use of this tool, this powerful tool, as often as we need it, as often as we become aware of holding on to negativity, holding on to resentment toward, or animosity toward another individual. Questions to ask. It is very powerful. The question to ask to augment and support this invitation is, who do I need to forgive? Or what do I need to forgive? Another way of asking the question is, where am I holding on to resentment? Where am I holding on to negativity, animosity, where another individual is concerned, where a particular condition and circumstance is concerned? And obviously the ego is going to not go down silently. It is not going to just lay itself flat on the back, but it is going to object. It is going to project all these excuses as to why do we need to do this work? We are not the one who messed up. It was their fault. It is their fault. They are the ones to blame. Why do we need to do this work? They are the ones who should be apologizing. They are the ones who should be whatever. The stories just go on and on and on as to why they why we are the victim in all of this. So we obviously need to transcend and go beyond the ego and find the willingness to set ourselves free. So this was it for today, for this session. As always, thank you so much for tuning in, for participating, for joining me. Until we meet again, I absolutely, as always, bless our days, and I bless our ways in the full knowing. And I invite you to join me in saying these out loud, in the full knowing that all is well, that something wonderful is happening, that everything is working for our highest good, that everything is, that perfect preparation and unfolding is always happening. With much love to us all, many blessings. Bye-bye. And namaste.